young scholars. I hope you're all having a good day. Welcome to another great episode of Mr. L, the Math Wizard. And I'm here to make all of you a wizard in math as well, because learning math is cool. Learning math will help you in the future. It will help you in science and all these other subjects. It will help you with getting a job. So, time to become a math wizard. Time to do a little mathematics. So get ready to learn some math. So today in class, we've been talking about multiplying double-digit whole numbers by each other, multiplying sometimes a double-digit whole number by a triple digit using the area model. So what we're talking about is like 25 times 155. Or maybe we're talking 225 times 155, or we might be talking a little bit later about 25 times 1,555. So we're talking about multiplying whole numbers by each other that are more than one digit. Now we did the area model before, multiplying one digit by multiple digit whole numbers. But now we're talking about multiple digit whole numbers, multiplying them by each other, because we are math wizards. So let's talk about this. Now before we can begin multiplying a number like that, we must first talk about this really, really cool word. And that word is called decompose. We must learn how to decompose numbers in order to do these multiplication using the area model. So we're going to be talking about a number right now, 25. And we're going to talk about how we can decompose this. Now decompose is a process of separating numbers into their components, or separating numbers into certain specific groups. It's like analyzing the number. Decomposing is analyzing the number. It's analyzing the number and breaking it down, breaking it into what we know about the number. It's like what we do with Miss Hess during number talks, where we talk about different strategies for coming up with answers. Well, today we're talking about breaking down whole numbers so we can use them in the area model. So we got to figure out, what is 25 made out of? Now we know it's made out of 5 times 5. We know it's made out of 10 plus 10 plus 5. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to decompose number. We're going to break it down. And today we're going to break down numbers by their place value. What are we going to break them down by? Their place value. So let's look at this. Let's look at the number 25. Now let's start, when we decompose numbers, always start with the number all the way to the left. So in this case, the number all the way to the left is the what? The 2. The 2 digit. The number is the 2. But we know that that number 2 doesn't really represent just 2 because of its place value. So let's look at the place value it's in. We have the 1's place and we have the 10's place. Good. So we know the 2 is in the what place value? The 10's place. Which is telling us that there's 2 groups of what? Yes, 2 groups of 10. So it's really like 10 plus 10. The 2 is telling us there's 2 groups of 10. And we know that 2 groups of 10, 10 plus 10 equals what? If you don't know, you got your fingers, you got your toes. You count them all, you get the answer. So 10 plus 10 is what, class? 20. And we know that the 5 is in what place value? What place value is that 5 in? It's in the 1's, you're right. It's in the 1's place, which is telling us that there's only what? There's only 5. There's only 5. That's all there is. We don't got to do anything with that. We don't have to say, it's not 5 groups of 10, it's not 5 groups of 100, it's not 5 groups of 1,000. It's just 5 groups of 1, which makes what? 5. So, we're going to bring it down to 5 right here. So we know 25 is really 20 plus 5. That equals 25. So today when we're using the area model, we're going to be breaking down numbers, decomposing numbers, analyzing numbers, decomposing, breaking them down by their place value, just like we did with 25, because we knew the 2 was in the, what, 10's place. So that means there's 2 groups of 10, which really is equal to 20, plus the 5, because there's 5's in the 1's place, so that's 5, which gave us 25. So we're going to have to decompose every number we're using today for multiplying numbers using the area model. So get ready to do a lot of decomposing. It's very important that you understand this concept, decomposing, to break a number down. And we're breaking a number down by its place value today for using the area model. So we're not going to break it down by like, 5 groups of 5. We're not doing that. We're breaking it down by its place value. We're breaking it down by the 2, representing 2 groups of 10, which represents 20. plus 5, because 5 is in the ones place, which is 5 singles. So that's 5. So 20 plus 5 equals 25. That is decomposing a number. Gotta know it. Don't forget it. It's important. Well, hope you learned how to decompose a number. Now we're going to be talking about making and building the area model and then actually multiplying using the area model. But before we do that, gotta make sure you know what decomposing means. Hello, young scholars. Welcome to an episode of Consider the Following. I heard all of you have been talking about decomposing numbers. Is that true? Have you been talking about decomposing numbers? Breaking numbers down and analyzing them? Well, in this episode of Consider the Following, we're going to be looking at decomposing and decomposing a number. And we're going to actually use money for this. We're going to use real life money for decomposing, for learning how to decompose. So let's do this. It's going to be real quick. So I heard you've been talking about decomposing the number 25. So let's talk about that. 25 is also equal to 25 what? Cents. Isn't that 25? 25, a quarter represents 25 cents. So we're going to use that for decomposing. We're going to use that as our number. Now we know we can decompose that. We can make 25 cents another way, which is 2 dimes and a nickel. Because I have 10 plus 10 is 20 plus 5 is 25. That's a way of making 25. And then we can go to another way, which would be 5 nickels. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 25. So now so far we've talked about 3 ways. We have a quarter, which represents 25. We have 2 dimes and a nickel, which makes 25. And then we have 5 nickels, which makes 25, which is the same as 5 times 5, where we can add all those together and equals 25 cents. And then another way, which gets a little heavy in our pockets, is we could have 5 groups of 5 pennies, or 25 pennies is another one. So we have 25 pennies, or we could have 5 nickels, or we could have 2 dimes, 1 nickel, or we could have 1 quarter. And that all equals 25. So now, when we're decomposing numbers today, using the area model, we're doing it by place value. So for this case, we would take 20 and we'd look at the 2. And what group is the 2 in? It's in the what place value? The tens place. So since the 2's in the tens place, that really represents 2 groups of 10. 10 plus 10, which equals 20, 20, right? 10 plus 10 equals 20, which is the same as 2 dimes, right? That's 10 plus 10, and that gives us how much? That gives us 20 cents. So we've done that, and then we know that 5 is in what place value? It's in the ones, and that equals just 5. 5 ones, which is equal to 5 pennies, right? 5 ones, or we could say a nickel. If we wanted to exchange that for a nickel, we could do that. We could get rid of those 5 pennies, and we could say it's equal to 1 nickel. So when we decompose the number 25, when we decomposed a quarter, we said it's really 2 groups of 10. 2 groups of 10 cents, which gives us 20 cents. So the 2 is really representing 20. And the 5 is really representing 5. It's representing a nickel. So we can use a quarter for teaching us how to decompose. Once again, 25 cents is really made out of 2 dimes, 2 dimes, which is 20 cents, and 1 nickel, which is 5 cents. We add these together, we get 25. Hope that helped you with decomposing numbers.